if you're a good performer and if you've done well, whether it's, as I said, in a short-term project or a part-time kind of a role, there will always be pull for you in the system. I think every leader goes through their own set of failures. I would say I've seen tons of failures in my life, right? And I have grown the maximum when I have failed, right? Because that's an opportunity for you to pause, reflect, and see what could you have done differently. The three words I would use to describe my leadership, I would say, is being open, engaged, and committed. Sometimes you have to take a step back, or I would say take a pause to move forward, to accelerate. Get rid of those labels, tags that, we put on ourselves, right? Think about what you're doing and how you're impacting the work that has been given to you. I think for me, that's been the biggest focus. So my parents have always been role models through my life. My mother was a professor, and I've always seen how hard she's worked and prepared for every class. I think the biggest value my parents taught me was to be positive and give your best. Right? And as one goes through a career, one has role models in good leaders. I've always been influenced by humble leaders, who've gone beyond job descriptions, truly embracing and implementing a wider agenda, really being company people. I think every leader goes through their own set of failures. I would say I've seen tons of failures in my life, right? And I have grown the maximum when I have failed, right? Because that's an opportunity for you to pause, reflect, and see what could you have done differently. Now, when results don't go as per my original plan, I ask myself, did I do everything that was in my control? And if I've done that, and if the answer is yes, I'm at peace with myself. I think the second part is, when you see failures, it's a great opportunity to also reach out to people, your mentors, your leaders that inspire you, to really have that candid conversation and, seek that additional perspective. What could you have done differently in a situation like this? I think those perspectives really open up your mind and you again grow as a leader. It's always a tough decision. Nobody wants to let go of people. But I think the only thing I would say is that when you do, take those calls, there is a way of doing it. Again, keeping empathy at the forefront of how you communicate. You can always communicate a bad message, in a nice way or in a bad way. I think it's about really keeping the empathy to the core of it, while communicating. And people get it. If you're, honest and if you're transparent and if you tell people why you're doing, what you're doing, people get it. The first thing I would say is attitude. Right? I think that's so much more important, than aptitude, because if you have a positive attitude, you will go the extra mile. You will, we call that the discretionary effort. So the first and foremost thing I would say is having the right attitude, the right positive attitude. The second is ability to adapt. And handle ambiguous situations. And the third, I would say, is, ability to, be a quick learner. Again, agility. Therefore, agility in terms of learning, unlearning, and learning again. So these are the three qualities that I would look at: attitude, adaptability, agility, the 3 A's. Every organization will have some portion of its workforce working from home in the future, right? It will be different by different industries. Now, we've looked at work from home as within a country. I would extend the concept to beyond the country, right? In PepsiCo specifically, over the last 3 to 4 years, we've tried what we call location-free roles, right? When someone's working remotely from India, but could be serving other markets like Europe, US, or even the Middle East, right? So I think work from home will lead a new set of policies, and this will happen for all companies in 2021. I think work from home will also be read as women from home, and it's going to be a fantastic opportunity for companies to really tap into this highly talented women pool sitting at home today. I have a teenage daughter, and I try to spend a lot of time with her, especially I think during these times, we're all at home. So it's become, a great ritual to kind of spend time watching, movies together. So I think that's been my latest passion, really spending time with her, watching movies, doing online shopping, or learning new things. Like I've taught her how to bake, right? So we end up baking a few things whenever we get the time. I love traveling. Whenever we do get an opportunity as a family, we are off somewhere. We've traveled, to a number of countries. We just love traveling and going to offbeat locations or offbeat countries, and exploring the culture, the diversity, and just, meeting and knowing people who, who come from different walks of life. So traveling is definitely something that, I love, very passionate about. But unfortunately, during these times, it's taken a back seat. The first, I would say, the world is your stage, not a country. Be worldly wise and be world citizens. Secondly, you're an articulate generation. Use that capability to bring genuine change in society. And the third, keep learning and evolving. And I do hope that we've learned the lessons of leadership from the pandemic and we will become better leaders.